Hey there YouTube, it's Sandsox, and tonight we're talking about BlueStacks. Welcome to the video everyone, and on this one we're going to do somewhat of a brief overview on an application called BlueStacks. So what is BlueStacks? BlueStacks is an application that runs on your Windows PC and it emulates an Android operating system. So what does that mean for you? Have you ever thought to yourself, man, I really like some of the things I do on my phone or tablet, but I really wish I could do that on my PC, but there's no PC version of an application for what I'm doing? That's where BlueStacks comes into play. So let's go ahead and hop over to my PC here, and I'm going to launch the BlueStacks application from my desktop. Now, this is going to take about 10 to 15 seconds for me to open up. It really depends on how good of a PC you have. As it says down there, it could take up to 40 seconds. And once it's open, like it is now, I'm going to go ahead and maximize it. I'm going to pause here and talk about what you would experience if you've never had this application installed before. I have, so it defaults to the screen you're seeing, but for you, you would have to do an initial setup where it basically asks you to link your BlueStacks application to a Google account, just like you would do if you had a brand new phone. So there are two ways you can really go about that, or at least two I'll discuss, and one is you could create yourself a brand new Google account. And that would just be the same thing as if you had set up a new phone or a new tablet. Or you can go ahead and use an existing one. If you have a Android phone or tablet that you use and you have a Google account for that, you can just go ahead and link up to that one. And that's what I recommend doing, and that's what I do, so that all the app purchases and game purchases that I've done throughout my entire history that are tied to my account are available in this BlueStacks application. So let's go ahead and talk real quick about the landing page that we're on here. Once you have the BlueStacks application running on your PC, you can see up here in the top left there are three tabs. My Apps, App Center, and Help Center. I'm not going to talk about a lot of these very much. The My Apps is the one I'll talk about the most. The App Center that we land on now, that's kind of like, it's almost like if you ever bought like a PC or a phone from a certain provider, like, I don't deal with phones a whole lot, but if you bought a PC back in the day, or even now maybe, if you bought an HP, they would put their own software on it. Or if you bought like a Samsung phone, they put their own software on it, where you could have the same Android phone from LG or something, and I've never had one, but I'm sure LG probably has their own proprietary software that they put on there. That's kind of what the App Center is here. So there's ways that if I come down here, once I'm in the App Center, I can click on the Home tab down here, and it's kind of like their way of displaying how they want you to interact with the Google Play Store. You can click on the top charts. It's all pretty self-explanatory if you're used to using Android in the first place. But what I'm going to focus on is the My Apps tab. So I click on that, and that takes me to my home screen. And this kind of looks like what I would expect to see if you were using your mobile device. So right here you can see the apps I have installed, and then you can see I have an icon on the far left that are my system apps. So let's say, for instance, I want to install a new game. What I'm going to do is go over to the system app, click on that, and that's how I find my Google Play Store. And I'll click that, and this is going to look just like your mobile PC or tablet, your mobile phone or tablet. So once I'm in the Google Play Store, what I'm going to do is search for a card game. That should be quick for me to install for a demonstration purpose. So the solitaire game here, I'll click on it, and every time that when I say click, I'm left mouse clicking, and what that's doing is simulating if I were actually pressing on, if this were a phone or a tablet. So I'm going to left click or press on the install button. And it's the same pop-ups, there's no difference. This is literally the same process you would go between BlueStacks or if you were using, an actual Android mobile device. So I'll go ahead and I'll open up this application, and now you can see I'm inside the game. And again, if I left press on left click my mouse button, it simulates the press wherever my mouse is at. So you can see it makes the card jiggle. I've never played this game before, but there we go. Double click that guy. Now, if I press down and hold and drag, that would simulate a long press or a press on your mobile device and a drag, the same thing. So I can move stuff around like that. So that's pretty cool. And I think that's one of the number one reasons why people probably use BlueStacks. It's most likely for gaming, because it gives you the luxury of being able to, one, I'm on personally, I think it's a 25-inch or 24-inch monitor here. And then on top of that, I have the luxury of using my mouse and keyboard. So I feel like personally it gives me a little bit of an advantage because I like using a mouse and keyboard a lot more. So let's go ahead and close out of this application. And I'm going to, and I probably should have said this before I close out of that. Let's open it back up. If you notice the top bar up here, it almost looks like a internet browser, whether it's Chrome or Firefox, whatever you use. How there are several tabs open. There's one tab for every application or anything inside BlueStacks that I've opened. So that's really nice to where I can just close right out of it right there, and I can close out of this right here. All right, so that's perfect. Now, that solitaire game, we didn't like it very much. Let's go ahead and get rid of it. There was nothing wrong with it. It just wasn't my taste. I don't like green and yellow icons. So what I did from the home screen is I'm going to do a long press or a long click on the application I want to remove, and you'll notice these little X's pop up above every icon, and that's how you can uninstall it. You get a warning asking if you want to uninstall it. I'll hit yes, and in the bottom right I get a notification, and I can click the wheel icon down here to pull up all my notifications. That's kind of a shortcut to getting to that. That should be in your system app settings as well. Not really much to talk about here, but I wanted to show you uninstalling that. Now, this Epic Summoner game, I have never played that. I did not install it. It's something that BlueStacks will do occasionally, and I don't know if they do this based on what applications you have installed or if it's just global. But occasionally you'll get something on your desktop inside of BlueStacks that you didn't put there. You can get rid of it. I think it's just part of their ad process. It's never bothered me. I could delete. I usually don't even delete it. I'm only doing it for the purpose of this video because it doesn't get in my way. I don't really care. But I thought I should discuss that a little bit. Okay, so what else is there to talk about with BlueStacks? So I think the best and number one feature about using BlueStacks, again, is the mouse and keyboard. And I'm going to do a quick demonstration on that. I'm going to open up this game called Star Wars Force Arena. It's a pretty good game, and you can see down here in the bottom once I open it, I get this pop-up that says this app has a default key map setting already. Please click here to check or edit. I could check this little box and close this out, and I'd never see that again. But I like having it there because it tells me that I've already played this game before, and I have set up some key mappings from my keyboard to this application. So any game that you play, you can manually set up key bindings in any way you want, and I'm going to show that to make it a little bit more sense here. So let's close these pop-ups, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this keyboard icon down here in the bottom tray, and once I do that, you can see the screen kind of faded to this dark blue, and it has these little boxes down here with letters in them, and those are places where I've set up key bindings already before. So I'm going to demonstrate to you now. I can add a new one. Let's say in the dead middle of the screen, I want to put a key binding there that anytime I hit the X button, that it would simulate a press right there. So I left click there to open up a new key binding, and then I simply just press the letter X here, and now we're done. I could just save on this up here and back out of it, and all these key bindings, anytime I hit X, it would press right here in the middle of the screen. If I hold X down, it would do a long press. Same thing on the A, the S, the D, and the F. So I think that's one of the best things. And real quick, without wasting a bunch of time, I'm going to back out of that and not save those changes. I'm going to actually jump into a real quick game, and I'm not going to play through it, but I do want to show you how those key bindings work. So if I come down here to the single play challenges, I'll jump into a game, don't even care what the settings are. You'll notice down here in the bottom right, once it pops up these cards that I play, this is why I set the key bindings up the way I did for this game. You see how these key bindings are right on top of the cards that I play and the special ability. So instead of clicking down here, if I want to just immediately deploy something, or if I want to immediately play that card or what have you, I can do so. So I'm left clicking on the screen where my mouse is at to move my character, and I'm going to hit the letter A to deploy my troopers down here, right where I'm at. Okay, so I'm just there. I'm doing the D. I'm sorry, the S and the D. I'm doing the S and then the D. When I said that, I hit those key bindings. And then right here, I'm gonna push the letter F on this tower to use my special ability. So that's all there is to it. Now I can also, because it depends on the game, right? So if this game allows you, if you're playing on your phone or your tablet, it allows you to press on the card you want to play and drag it to where you want to deploy it. I can do the same thing right here with my mouse. Okay, so that's all there is to it. I'm going to back out of this application. I just want to show you that the key bindings work. Now, if the game itself supports controllers, you can use that. I've done that with a few games that are kind of like, I don't remember what the games were, but I played a few that were like Diablo 3 on here, and it allowed you to use a joystick if you had one. So using my my joypad that I have for my PC, I was able to map all those same key bindings to the letters, and then in addition to that, I'm going to open up this application one more time, but I'm not going to actually do anything with it. But I'm going to hit the key bindings down here and show you that there's a way that I can grab this little D-pad icon at the top and drag it down here, and it would put a place where I could actually configure which buttons I want to press, that I want to keybind to simulate a D-pad. Now, you'd probably ask yourself, well, how does the game understand that you're using your controller when you're mapping it to your keyboard? I've honestly never looked to see if BlueStacks has anything native to do that, but for me personally, I downloaded a third-party application. I want to say it was called something like Joypad. I haven't used it in a while, so I'm not sure. But it was able to first map my joypad to the keyboard, and then from inside BlueStacks, the keyboard was mapped to the application. So it's kind of like, it would obviously be better if you can do it directly inside BlueStacks. We'll take a quick look here, just to see if based on these pop-ups. All right, so here's something from MOBA. Drag this button to do movement control. That would be good for this game, but I don't know if it supports it. We'll find out later on after this video. Drag this button for a D-pad / joystick, and then shooting game. Yeah, so I don't know if BlueStacks itself has a way to tell if you have a gamepad plugged in. I probably should have looked that up before this, but I don't usually use gamepads. I'm usually using my mouse and keyboard. But I know at worst case scenario that you can get a third-party application that can map your joypad to the keyboard, and then you map your keyboard to the application. So I hope that doesn't confuse anyone. If it does, I'm sorry. If anyone else is watching this video and you have questions about that, feel free to put a comment in there and I'll reply to it if I see it. We're going to back out of this without doing any saving. Close the application. And I think I'm going to talk about maybe two more things. The first one is, I've talked about BlueStacks in regards to gaming. It's useful for other things. Like, let's say for me, I work from home and I'm at this computer after work. So I literally sit at this computer or at this desk the majority of the day, probably 15, 16 hours a day. So for me, I don't like getting into my phone if I get a message or, a text or whatever, any kind of notifications for any of the apps on my phone. It annoys me to have to unlock my phone, because my phone, I have strict security on it because it's a work phone. It's encrypted. I have to use a fingerprint to get into it. And it's kind of a pain in the butt. Like, if I get a notification and then 3 minutes later I get another one, like, I don't want to keep unlocking my phone. BlueStacks can receive anything that goes to my Google account. So, like, I use Google Hangouts up here for messaging with my friend. I don't have to use my phone. Anytime he messages me, it goes directly to BlueStacks. Now, there are PC applications that achieve the same thing. AirDroid is an excellent one, and I use that as well. But if you kind of want a consolidated all in one place, BlueStacks can do more than just gaming. It can run any app, to my knowledge, that your Android mobile device would. So another thing that we do, my friend and I, when we play that Star Wars game, is we use WhatsApp to communicate with each other. And the reason for that is he plays it on his mobile device with a Bluetooth headset, and I play it on my PC. But we want to be able to communicate in one, and I don't want to have a phone up to my ear or on one Bluetooth headset to get his chat audio to come through, and then not be able to get my game audio because it's now on my PC, right? And actually this headset I have can do that, and it's one of the only ones I've been able to find to do it. But I don't want to go through all that, plugging up stuff and trying to mix multiple signals together. So what I can actually do is run WhatsApp inside BlueStacks, and if he calls my phone number, BlueStacks receives that inside the WhatsApp application, and I can answer it on there. So the only problem that you will come across with that is that the game volume will be 100% and the chat volume will be 100%, so you're not going to be able to hear who you're talking to. The game volume is going to drown out any sound you have from the chat. It's going to be real annoying. But it's really easy because this is just like a phone. So on your Android device, whether it's a phone or a tablet, you know how you swipe from the top to the bottom to kind of bring up your quick menu and go into your settings and adjust the volume or something like that, to where you can make the media volume lower and the chat volume higher. You can do the same thing here. So I'll dive down into the system app, and go into the settings, and I'm going to go down to the sound menu and go to the volumes menu. And from here, you can see I have it already set up that way. My game volume in here is set down to about 20 or 30%, while the ringtone notifications are set up to 100%. And I think that struck a good balance. Now, if I were to go play a game by myself right now, I would bump this music back up 100% because I want to hear the game. But when I'm talking to my friend, I just need a little bit of the sound effects in the background to kind of, you know, get a feel for what's going on in the game. We're not playing a first-person shooter for rankings and stuff like that, right? So, but you do have the option in here to be able to make phone calls, or, you know, app calls, I should call it, and be able to adjust the volumes correctly to make sure you're not drowning out anything. So the very last item I'll discuss is BlueStacks being a free application, because it is. You can download it from their website, which I'll put a link to that in the description of this video. You can download it. There's no charge for it. Now, if you have the free version of it, there are ads, and I can tell you they are very minimal. You'll usually get like their ads. I can't show you because I don't have the free version right now, but it's like the whole screen for BlueStacks will just be a picture of whatever ad they want to show you, and you'll see a timer at the bottom that's like 10 seconds. And after 10 seconds, you can just close the ad. Now, that never bothered me. I didn't get the premium version because of the ads. The reason why I got the premium version was because, to my knowledge, that's the only way you can change the background. This background that you see right now is the default one, and I really cannot stand it. It looks like some old medieval stuff that's not really rich and vibrant in colors. It's not up my alley. So down here in the bottom right, you can see I have an option that says wallpaper, and I can switch that, and I'm going to do that right now. I actually reset it to default for this video to demonstrate this for you. So as a premium user, what you can do is go down here and find the wallpaper you want to set up, and I'm going to do that, and that's the same thing as my YouTube channel art. So I got that set up now, and there's no, you know, it doesn't do anything really for you, but that's what I want. I like personalizing my stuff. Like you can see on my actual PC here, you know, this background changes every 10 minutes, and it's a bunch of Marvel and DC character minimalist art. I just like to personalize my stuff. So BlueStacks does have that option, and the last I checked, the subscription for premium, if you're interested in that, I think was either $4 a month or $40 on the year, which would save you like 16%. So it's not an expensive application if you're interested in the premium features of not having the ads, being able to customize it, and then I can't remember what else it was that they were advertising, but well, their premium support. I've never needed their support. I've used the forums one time, and I think that'll be the last item that I'll touch on for this overview, because I said it was going to be brief, and it's obviously not. It's dragging on and on and on because I like to talk about these kind of things. But I've been using BlueStacks for a few years. I originally started using it because I had a little Windows 8 tablet, and I wanted to emulate Android on that, so that's why I installed it. And I've never had any issues with it, even with a little tablet that doesn't have the best system resources and the most processing power. I've never had any issues with it until last year on this gaming PC I have set up right now. This is a state-of-the-art August 2017 PC I set up, so it's, what, 6 months old or something like that, 8 months old. So it's a really high-end gaming PC, and it started crashing, and it started having this issue where when I booted it up, that start engine thing at the bottom would get stuck at 80%. Let's close this out. Show you what closing out looks like too. You just get a notification, it makes you confirm it, and it's closing BlueStacks, and it's shutting down the processes in the background. So if I go launch it again, you see this bar at the bottom that says starting the engine, please wait. It would get stuck at like 80% and then just bomb out, and I'd have to restart the PC. I did a lot of research on it, and long story short, it was Avast antivirus, which I had been using that for, I don't know, 10, 15 years, or not 15, 10 to 12 years since I was in college when I started using Avast. And I got on BlueStacks forums, and I found they had some guides on optimizing BlueStacks for users of Avast. And I did that, and it worked for a couple more weeks, and then Avast came out with another update, and it broke BlueStacks again, and I don't know whose fault it was, and I didn't care. I needed BlueStacks to work, and I wasn't, you know, heart set on keeping Avast, so I just uninstalled that and got a different antivirus, and I've not had any issues since with running my BlueStacks. So if you do, don't know what to tell you, you're welcome to ask, and I like troubleshooting stuff, so if you have any problems, I'll be glad to try to take a look at it and help you. Just leave it in the comments if you have anything. And other than that, I don't think there's really much else to talk about. Last item I'll close on, my feelings on BlueStacks is it's a great item. If you like emulating stuff, like the ability for me to be able to use my PC as an Android mobile device, it's awesome. And the fact that they offer that to you for free, awesome again. The ads are minimal. It's really nothing that would make you regret getting it, in my experience. So head on over there. Again, the link to their website is in the description. Download their product, give it a try if you're interested, and let me know what you think. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you liked what you saw.